brought a bit of rust, do you think, to the team the first two periods? Seemed at times hard to complete a pass.
I mean, they had, yeah, both teams are playing 60 minutes. I mean, it's not an excuse, you know. You could probably say there's a little bit of rust from us just mentally being engaged, but it's not an excuse. We got to be ready, and it's the big road trip for us to set us up for success down the road.
Obviously not the result you guys want tonight, but talk about what you saw from your group in this one.
We got to make more plays, I think. I know Lanky's world-class, but we left him on an island too much, and I think it starts with our breakouts. If we can clean that up, probably leads to a better transition, more possession. Yeah, I mean, we had a couple good looks and just held on, but I think we need a better 60 minutes. It's not good enough, especially on the brink of playoffs right now.
You got the assist on the Jake DeBrusk goal. What have you just seen from him? He's leading the team in goals right now.
He's got a knack for being around the net and putting them in. So guys like that, you want to just put in there, give him a chance, and he made a great finish. He had good poise, and it's a nice play to slide a 5-hole.
It did seem like the pace, though, quickened, not just from you guys, but maybe from both teams, maybe 35 minutes into that one. Was that, do you think, just getting a feel?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about giving us our tie game going in the third. We win a period, we win a game. I think obviously they can ramp it up. They won a cup for a reason. So I think we held our own for a little bit, but we still need a full 60 minutes. We too much, just receiving, and we got to attack more.
It seemed like there was maybe a 15-minute stretch, sort of right after DeBrusk's goal. It kind of concludes maybe 5 minutes into the third, after which they had the lead, where really they sort of seized momentum. Was there anything that made the game turn in your view?
I don't know. I mean, we start off on the three kills right in the first period. Just probably mentally need to be more engaged, but it's a game of momentum, and things are always going to switch back and forth. But I just think we got to respond tomorrow with a back-to-back.
What do you think of? I mean, you said you guys left him on an island a little bit too much, but I mean, what do you say about a performance like that from Kevin?
I mean, that's why we just extended him, right? Like he gives us a chance every single night. They probably could have 4 or 5 easy ones tonight, and he gave us a chance. He's making some hard saves look easy, and I think we owe it to him to come out better.
Do you get the sense guys are refreshed and ready to get back to games now?
Yeah, we had a couple good days. The guys handled it well. We did a pretty tough skate yesterday. There was a little more tension on that skate than the previous day, and we felt that the guys handled it. Especially those mountains aren't easy, but they're a good indication where guys are at, and they're all really good. So it was good to see.
Do you feel like you have to get guys more mentally engaged when you come back, or physically engaged? What's tougher?
Probably a little bit of both. I mean, you guys probably saw that we had a couple harder drills at the end where there's more contact, one-on-one, small games, and those dots to boards where you're going into Vegas. It's where they're a heavy team. So you try to get them into those tough areas in practice. We led up to it. The first day was more. We didn't want to grind their stops and starts and the heavy, get them back into a little bit slower. So with some pace, and mentally, we've gone over 3 days of good video. We had a little bit of review as well today. We had a conversation last night. What do you want us to show? So we went over some special teams and things like that. So tomorrow we'll fly to Vegas, and then we'll jump on the ice with Rick. Will be back, so it'll be good. We feel like we'll be prepped.
What's the excitement level right now? I mean, you guys get a couple days to skate here, but obviously games just around the corner. Just the group to get back together and play games.
Yeah, they've seemed like they've been having fun this week. They're happy to be back. They had a nice break, all of them, and there's been nothing going on except some guys just getting ready, being pros, and there's a good feel going on for sure.
What was the best part of the break for you?
I got to see a lot of family. Got to see my son, so it was good. Yeah.
What, if any, is there an update on Quinn in terms of his readiness for Saturday?
Yeah, tomorrow will be a second day of contact, right, in practice when we get to Vegas, and then they'll go through with the medical staff. They'll go through what they do, and I'm optimistic myself, but we'll see what outcomes. We'll probably put him in a couple even harder one-on-ones in the corners tomorrow if he's ready for it, and we'll see.
Big game tonight for Rick. You guys talk about it at all?
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about it, but I won't say too much. But it's fun. It's fun time for those coaches. It's the game 7, right? Championship game. That's what U.S. and Canada wanted. That's why they're there. And he's been there a lot in his career as a coach and playing. So he's excited.
you've played for Canada, but you did it when you were living in the U.S. What was that experience like for you? Was it a different context coming home to play?
I think it's a good question because when it happened, living in the U.S. for so long, I didn't know what it would completely be like, the Olympic part. The World Cup was in '96 for me, but the Olympics, I didn't know how big it was until we had an opportunity to actually win it and then travel back in Canada and hear the fans talk about it, where, like I said, I think a couple days ago that normally you wouldn't hear a fan say anything positive when you go, Colorado goes into Edmonton or Vancouver, right? So you don't realize how big it is for your country sometimes as a player, especially when you're young. But it's a huge moment for these players, for sure.
And especially now, obviously a lot of people are feeling it personally.
For sure, yeah.
So, fans feel in a way, but it strikes me it might be different for the players just because their experience, especially if they're playing in the U.S., might be different.
Yeah, the fans feel it. I think the players feel it as well. They know what's going on out there. They want to win. They know that's a huge rivalry. But when you can put the jersey on, the Maple Leaf, it's huge. Just like I'm sure it's huge for what country you're from. Represent your country's big.
Just a couple of housekeeping items. You've had the two Abbey goalies up here this week to practice. They're not both going on the road, are they?
No, I think it's just Sealobs will be the one meeting us with Lanks. So yeah, he'll be with Lanks.
And then Baines and Amon, are they traveling?
Yeah, we're gonna have a discussion about that. Carly was sick under the weather, so I don't know completely exactly if we have an idea who's going to go, but they'll figure that out the next couple hours, and it looks like that's what it's going to be.
Adam, you mentioned, or it was mentioned a couple days ago, plan is for Lankinen and Pettersson to meet the team in Vegas. Is the plan for them to both skate tomorrow? Yeah,
this should be on the ice, but they had some ice, I believe, today. They arranged some ice down there for them already, so I believe they've been out on the ice already.
And one of the big talking points around the Four Nations with Elias Pettersson, the forward, is he didn't play in the last 15 minutes of that Sweden-Canada game. Have you guys been told if he's dealing with anything from the tournament?
I have not been told that, no.
Do you feel refreshed?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. I think everyone's got a good energy coming back. I think it's not quite like the start of the year, but most guys haven't seen each other in a while, so seems like everyone had a good break. So I think it's a good positive energy coming back.
I think everybody welcomes the break, but considering how you guys were playing going into the break, was there perhaps a wish you could have kept it going a little bit more?
Yeah, I think at that point everyone's kind of looking for the break regardless, but the good thing about that is we ended off on a positive note. That last week was really good. We played some good hockey, got some results finally. So, a little bit of positive momentum. Hopefully we can take that into this weekend. But I think definitely some positives, some good things to build on.
How different was it from an all-star break? Feels like that's kind of just like a weekend and a couple extra days. Having the extra days at this point in the season, how different is that for a guy who probably likes his routines more?
Yeah, it's weird because I think it's, the longer you're off, the harder it makes to come back. I think if it's 3 or 4 days, it's, like Christmas or a little longer, it's fairly easy to come back and kind of get the feel of everything, get the timing. Here it's a little more extended, so I think you probably had to be a little more conscious, especially after the first couple of days of what you're doing over break and how you're staying prepared, but also at the same time that's probably why the schedule was so intense and so packed. It felt like the last 2 months were going every other day, and it's like you play a game and the next day you're preparing for the next one, that there's hardly a break mentally in terms of just take a day and not think about the game, not think about preparing, all that stuff. So I think honestly mentally more than physically it was nice to just relax and get away and not have to prepare for something basically every day.
So with the final third of the season kind of remaining here, what do you think the group's done well developing throughout the year, and now that you guys kind of build on this final stretch?
Yeah, I think we've had a lot of adversity of different kinds. Outside noise, injuries, kind of things not going our way on the ice. I think, we're right there in the fight, giving ourselves a good chance to compete going down the stretch. So that's been good. I think we've, built some resilience, built some character. I think we've got a great group of guys in there in terms of just players, but also personalities and gelling together in the room and stuff. And I think, we've shown the last week or two before the break, we can play really good hockey and kind of compete with anyone and beat anyone. So I think we've got a solid foundation and opportunity to do something, come springtime.
Did you have favorite part of the break, just for yourself personally?
Yeah, I mean, my wife and I went to Tofino, so first time out there, and just yeah, you hear a lot about it, and to get an opportunity to go and see it firsthand was awesome. Yeah.
I guess just talk about the break. What was it like for you to kind of rest a little bit and get ready to get back to it?
Yeah, no, it was great. It was something that you got to take advantage of when you can to get away, and try to get some nice weather and things like that. So it was nice. It felt pretty long though, to be honest with you, and but a couple days here and kind of been grinding. So it's nice to get back.
So, and kind of going into the break, you guys are playing so well. What did that do for you guys over the break? Kind of knowing, hey, we just accomplished this going into this little break.
Yeah, it helps. It helps looking at the standings, knowing that we're in as of now. Obviously, it's not by much, but it's been one of those. It's been a crazy year in that sense. So, but yeah, the way we were playing, I think that obviously with the new guys here, kind of getting acclimated and everything as well, felt like we were going in the right direction. If anything, it might have been not the best time for a break because we're kind of rolling. But in saying that, it makes it a little easier to get away and reset a little bit.
What's the most important thing, I guess, coming back and trying to keep that momentum going now?
Yeah, obviously that's the biggest thing, right? Is trying to maintain it. We're playing against a pretty good Vegas team, obviously. We're getting some reinforcements back as well. But in saying that, it's going to be a tight schedule. I think we got a couple back-to-backs and things like that. So, obviously going into the break, knowing that, you try to keep the body up to speed. But it's kind of hard when you haven't skated for a while. So, I think the biggest thing is just kind of focusing on everyone's game individually and just kind of do the things that we're getting success for the last little stretch here.
Said take a break. How much did you pay attention to the hockey that was going on? Like, do you unplug completely, or was everyone watching?
I do unplug completely, but I'm human. I have social media, so obviously I see certain things. I think I watched the highlights of Canada versus Sweden the first game, and then I watched the highlights, obviously, of the U.S.-Canada game. Tonight might be a little different, though. Tonight I might actually turn it on. So, but no, it's one of those things where, yeah, I took it as a break just to get away from hockey, and then when there's 3 fights in 9 seconds or whatever it is, and everything's blowing up, you tend to look at it.
What is the conversation in the room? Like, how much are you guys talking about that and the focus that's on that game tonight and the tournament in general right now as you come back?
Yeah, mostly just with the tournament in general. Obviously, we don't have many Canadians here, so I don't bring it up too much. I mean, I got all faith in the boys. Don't get me wrong, but I wish talking them the best. But it's one of those things where there hasn't really been any animosity in the room on that side for me, anyways, which there usually is. But in terms of just tournament, I think it's great for the game. I think it's great. I think that's what just bringing so much more attention to what we can bring as a league. Obviously it's more playoff-like intensity, but that's what the best time to watch our game is, obviously. But yeah, I'm also just talking about how it's awesome for the game and a little bit surprising in some ways.
I was just gonna say, at all surprised, like a little bit surprising, the intensity level for a mid-season tournament. Did it catch you off guard at all?
It did and it didn't, to be honest with you. I didn't think there'd be fights, but I thought it'd be pretty physical, especially with those two teams. I didn't really watch much of the Finland or Sweden, but I know Canada and U.S. obviously some guys have some rivalries on the teams, so I expected there to be a lot of body contact and things like that, playoff-like. So I wasn't expecting actual fights, if that makes any sense.
Jake, 27 games to go for this group. You're sitting on 19 goals. We talked to you at times about hot streaks and some colder ones. And overall, though, I mean, you are very much on pace for 30 for the season. Like, are you content with sort of your production level in your first year as a Canuck?
I mean, it's gone somewhat okay. I think that there was a time where the first 10 games of the year I didn't know if I'd score 10 all year, but I'm here to win. And but in terms of myself looking at production, I'm actually not necessarily happy with it. Really, I've had some stretches, like you said, that haven't really been the best in certain things. I need to find ways to generate more plays in general in the offensive zone and playing with some pretty good players. And I feel like there's more room there to grow, obviously. And I think it's a hard league to be content in, no matter what your stats are. But like I said earlier, I think I said at the beginning of the year, I don't care what I have as long as we win. That's why I'm here. But yeah, I guess in terms of pacing and all that, I don't really look into that as a streaky player. You don't really look into pace over 82. You kind of just try to keep the hop streaks alive, and obviously you're going to need a couple here in the last 27.
You look at your pace when you're on those hot streaks, and you're like on pace for 100 goals.
Yeah, usually it's around 50. I usually see 150 goal tweet a year, but Yeah, I mean that's something that you take it to heart though. You want to be a consistent player, obviously, and I don't necessarily think my game drops off that much. I think it's just more so in terms of production. It is the hardest thing in this league is to score goals, but that's what you get measured by. And saying that, I think that I can generate more just in general as a 5-on-5 line. That's usually where I've had most success as a pro is 5-on-5, but this year it seems to be more leaning towards the power play. So hopefully that comes around here in the last little stretch.
Jake, your line mate before the break, Sherwood, he's on pace to smash the hits record this season. Have you ever played with a player who, throws 8-9 hits a game and it just seems like a normal thing?
Well, no, I haven't. He does run around. I think he's good at mastering how to get the hits. I'm still trying to figure those out myself. But no, he plays such a hard game. He really does. He's got so much energy, and he's always F1 on the forecheck. I think that's where he gets predominantly his hits. Plays a lot of, like I said, energy, and it's a lot of fun to play with, to be honest with you. As a guy myself who likes to get up in the forecheck, I know he's going to be there with me, and it's one of those things where he makes it easier for me to kind of get some pucks, and he's got some good hands. I think he's going to smash his career highs and everything too. I think he's got his goals and stuff like that, but he's had a great start, or not great start, great season so far, and really happy for him.
And then tonight in Boston, you've played some big games there. What should people expect just from the crowd for tonight's game? Yeah,
well, the tickets were pretty expensive, so hopefully it's pretty loud in there. But like you said, I played some pretty big games there, and it's one of those things for Team Canada. They can't get the crowd into it early. They can't let one in the first couple, or else it could get pretty loud, like I said. But in saying that, I think the atmosphere will be pretty rocking, especially depending on how the game goes. How physical it is and things like that. They like the big hits, so it's one of those things where you guys are making me want to tune into it.
Thanks.
We're gonna live forever. We're gonna live forever. We're gonna live forever. We're gonna live forever. We're gonna live forever.
That's same size he wears.
Quinn, thanks for taking the time to come and sit down and chat with me today.
Generational talent.
Thanks for liking the video and subscribing.